Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So today we're taking a look at, this is my brand new bike. I just picked this up a few weeks ago. This is a 2022 Yamaha YZ250FX, kind of an off-road racing bike. This is the first brand new bike I've bought. I've had several used bikes. I actually had a 2016 version of this bike, a 16 250FX. I really like that. Sold it, and then we wanted to get the latest version. This is the 2022, so super excited about this bike. I actually haven't even had it out on the dirt yet. I've just ridden around the street a few times, so it's got like not even an hour on it, so it's basically brand new. But today I'm working on it, and I'm installing these handguards. They're actually a full wraparound handguard. They're kind of like the Yamaha genuine accessory style. They're going to fully wrap around. One of the challenges though is I have to cut the ends of the grips off because they do insert into the end of the grips. There's a support tube that goes around and then the full wraparound handguard here. So I'm just going to go through the installation process. We'll go through it and shouldn't be too bad. So let's get started. Just trimming off the edge of this grip. You just need to expose this bar end here. That's not the cleanest way to do that. It'd be better to get some open-ended grips, but we're going to use these since the grips are brand new. We want to use those. So we basically just want to cut off that little end there to expose the hole. And they'll be able to mount in there, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, second one off. Alrighty guys, so I'm back working on the bike here. I actually had to take a break. I wasn't able to finish it the day that I started it, so it's a few days later. And kind of ran into a couple snags, and the instructions on installing these handguards are not that clear, and so I just kind of want to readdress this, show you a few of the hiccups that I'm experiencing right now. If you have any suggestions, leave them down in the comments below. All right, one thing I had to do, and I'm going to do now, so you need to remove your front number plate. Also remove the bar pad off of here because you need to access to these clamps next to the guards here. We're going to have to mount these. The bars kind of mount next to the handlebar clamps. And one thing that I was doing wrong initially was this bar here, I had them swapped around to the other side. So how they go on is when they're on the correct side, this handlebar guard bar initially swoops down. I had it swooping up, and it just wasn't installing right. So that was an issue. Also on the throttle side, in order to be able to install this bolt, that's kind of an expanding bolt. Once you put it in there, it expands and it kind of locks into the metal inside of the handlebar tube. Well, on the throttle side, it's plastic, and I had to actually drill out the holes to be the same diameter as this side because it's just a plastic throttle tube. It had just a smaller hole in it. I had to drill out that side, and then I've mounted these clamps on the handlebar. That's really kind of where I'm at right now, and I need to just kind of position these so that they're out of the way of the cables, of the clutch cable, of the brake line cable. Tighten them down, and then actually install the guards here, and then see if my handlebar pad will go back on. I did have to modify. So here's my factory. This is the OEM factory handlebar pad. I had to cut out some of the foam here so that it could fit back on. Because now I have these. If you can see here, I have now these black clamps that are going to be in the way, and we'll see if we can actually get the pad installed, the pad cover installed back over it. We'll see. All right, so I'm gonna kind of wrap up this part, tighten up the bolts, and then I'll install the handguard covers, and we'll see how that goes, and then see if we can get the number plate back on and working. I have the braces all kind of bolted down, and I've got them bolted down. I was a little concerned about this one here. I got my brake reservoir, my brake line that goes here, and this kind of goes up and over that just slightly. So you want to make sure that it's clearing this brake line and there's no pressure on the brake line, because if this takes a hit, you don't want it snapping off my brake line. That was my concern. The other thing I had to do, in order to be able to fit this bracket, this arm bracket here, this is on the clutch side, on the left side of the bike, I had to take a razor blade and cut off this top strap to the number plate, which it cuts pretty easily just with a razor blade. So, and this really doesn't hold it that well. There's actually a bolt that holds this on, so it should be fine. And I think that it probably won't be it probably won't look that bad. Anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at. So cutting off the number plate strap is probably the one thing I haven't expected to do. I'm having to do a lot more modification to the bike than I thought I was, in that I had to drill out the throttle tube, cut off this part, and now I've got these down. Now I can just start mounting the plastic pieces, the actual handguard parts. All right, I'm here on the right side, and the pieces are all marked left and right. So this is obviously the right side. Right side when you're looking at how you're riding the bike. So right side is going to be your brake side. So there's these extra pieces that come with it, so that you can make it, so you can mount it like this. Let's see, it goes like, yeah, it'll go like that. But you can also put these extra pieces on to block off the air vents. So let's say if we're riding in the wintertime and we don't want airflow, we want to keep our hands warmer, we would just screw on these. There's two little screws that go on. There's a little bolt that goes on behind here. You can screw those on, or they are removable. So in the summertime, if you want more airflow, cool your hands down a little more, you don't need to block off the air. We have that method right there. Okay, have the handguard in place, and there's 3 bolts. There's one here, and then there's one on the side. The one on the side holds on this plastic piece here. This plastic piece is removable. Probably replaceable too. If it gets all banged up, you can replace this plastic piece. So one bolt here, and then we'll put the other ones. There's little lock washers, little washers that fit into the groove on the back of these. These just screw in. So this bolt fits in the hole on the back side, and it mounts in like that. So all right, here's the back side of the handguard. So we have this little barrel nut. It fits inside there, and then there's a groove that prevents it from spinning, so it's easy to thread that in. So then we just thread in our screw from the other side. Okay, this one here, I had to really press this in because it seemed like this black piece was poking out a little more, so this screw wasn't catching the nut on the other side. So I really had to press that in first, get that one tightened down a little bit, and then I can get this one to seat down. There we go. All right, we'll just do the same on the next side, and then we'll be able to tighten everything down, put my bar guard back on, cover back on, bolt this number plate on, and that should be it. The handguards are now installed. It's pretty straightforward. Once I got these bars aligned, and once I figured out just to cut off this part of the number plate, that just seemed the easiest way. I also had to trim, because I had to trim my bar pad. I also had to trim this bar pad cover. If you see here, I had to cut the bar pad cover kind of along the shape of these brackets. You see on this side here, I had to cut that out. So had to modify that a little bit. Not that big of a deal, but you know, it's not a plug and play. There is a little bit of modification you have to do. So if you see here, there's these removable handguard covers. I kind of like them without them, so I think I'm just going to leave those off until, you know, because it's springtime, it's starting to warm up. I don't need to block off airflow, and I think it looks a little better without those covers on there. So that I like that has that option. You can just screw those on if it's cold. You want more wind protection on those, but overall I think it turned out pretty good. They look really good. They match the factory graphics, the factory blue plastics really well, same color, and they'll help keep the levers from breaking. You know, when you go down, drop the bike down, you fall, take a digger, whatever it might be. These have a tendency to snap off the levers, break the levers, and I think these are going to protect the levers and hands. So Anyways, that's the, I'll leave a link to these in the description below, but I appreciate you guys watching the video. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, leave any comments below if you have questions or if you want to leave a comment, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.